So guys, week 5, dropping correctives for our kind of cool down after our run intervals on Thursday. We see in our group setting, our correctives is just a 10-minute series of movement we go through, focused on posture, focused on some joint health, and really just kind of down regulating after our speed work. But we've got 5 movements today. Only thing I'll need is just some space and a couple yoga blocks. But our 5 movements, we're going to work through some pretty short holds. We've got a forward fold, an elephant walk. We're going to go through some shoulder rotation in a few different positions, and then we will finish up with just a static kind of adductor and groin focused movement where we're just lying flat on the ground. But let's get to it. So we've got our forward fold to start. So running being so posterior dominant or heavy, this is going to probably feel pretty nice since we'll get into the calves and hamstrings, but feet are going to go together, legs are going to go together. And like it sounds, we're just going to fold forward, but we're going to try to do that by initiating at the hips with a hinge. So instead of just like rolling the spine down, think about hips going back. Knees do not have to be completely locked out, but the more they are, the more length or tension will create and length will create in that stretch. But trying to keep the upper half relaxed, and we'll just settle into this so neck and head can drop. If we want to bend the knees a little bit, take some pressure potentially off the back. But being in that forward folded position, we are going to kind of trap how much room we can create or space we can create with that belly breathing. So with that, it would be nice to think about some 3-dimensional breathing. So if I'm breathing into my belly, that expansion is going to have to come from somewhere. So it'll come from the belly, potentially even around the sides, and then even into that low back. So think about deep inhalations through the nose, expanding through the belly and the back. And then from a similar position or same position and setup, we've got our elephant walk. So we can use a couple things if we're pretty limited or restricted in that range of motion in that forward fold. I can use these blocks to help elevate my hands, help the lower back out just quite a bit. But if we've got the flexibility, we can kind of work to the ground. I'm pretty soft. I'm not putting weight into my hands, but I'm going to start with knees bent, and then one at a time, I'm going to kind of match this with my breath. As I exhale, I'm going to press and extend one leg, try to lock it out, create some length again through that posterior. I'll reset, and then I'll just switch sides. So we're kind of in that walking fashion, nice and slow, working back and forth for a minute there. So we got a minute in the forward fold, a minute in the elephant walk, and then we'll give that back a break, legs a break. So we're going to go into this prone position where we will be face down, chest down. The 2 yoga blocks are there simply just to rest the wrists on. First position is going to be in this overhead, call it an I. But what I'm looking to do is rotate externally at the shoulder, and I'm going to create some tension at the hand. That way I have tension throughout the chain of my arm. But starting with the thumbs out, thumbs facing in, I'm going to rotate as much as I can and actively hold. Head's relaxed, but 40 seconds here. Going through that turnout, 20-second break, 40 seconds with the 45-degree angle, so I went from that I to this Y. Turn out, hold, keep fighting for more rotation, 20-second relax, into my final one, arms straight out to the side in this T. Same idea, start relaxed, turn out, head resting, my legs are resting. Everything is resting except me being really strong through trying to turn. And then finally, we've got our supine. So we're just going to lay flat on our back. Couple blocks, single block, turn it if you need to, but we want about that much space between our feet. I'm going to keep a bit of tension, so I'm pressing my feet together through those blocks. And then as I'm stretched out here, trying to get the hips to settle to the ground, my back to settle to the ground, and then I'm just going to hold that tension and breathe here for 2 minutes. So again, going back to belly breathing. This is mostly a passive hold there, but keeping a little bit of activity through that inner thigh and groin as we hold those blocks between the feet. So again, just quick recap. Minute forward fold, try to relax into that. A minute of those elephant walks, or alternating those steps. We've got 40 seconds on at each turn, so we've got overhead, we've got that Y, we've got that T with about a 20-second break between, and then finally we'll finish with that supine, just laying stretched out, tension between the feet. We'll go 2 minutes there.